Hi everyone, welcome to today's video on getting started with business analysis. If you've ever wondered how businesses make informed decisions, improve processes, and also drive success, business analytics is the heart of all. So whether you're new to this field or looking to strengthen your understanding, this video will guide you through the core concepts and methodologies that every aspiring business analyst should know. We'll begin with general introduction to business analytics, followed by overview of BABOK, which is Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, the industry standard guide for business analysts, and then we will dive into essential topics like business analysis planning and monitoring, elicitation and collaboration as well. Also how to manage the requirements lifecycle. You'll also learn about strategy analysis, requirement analysis, and design definition, which are crucial for aligning businesses' needs-them technical solution. So finally, we'll wrap up with a solution evaluation, ensuring that business solutions are effective and deliver value. So whether you're aiming for a career in business analysis or want to understand its role in business success, this video will give you a structured roadmap to get started. So let's dive in. But before we get started, if you're interested to become a successful business analyst, Simplilearn offers the perfect certification program to help you achieve your goals. With this course, you learn how to solve complex business problems and gain essential skills, all aligned with IIBA BABOK V3 standards, including CBAP and CCBA certification. So you can find the course link in the description box below and in the pinned comments.
Companies, regardless of the economy, continue to increase their investment on software development. The cost of getting it wrong can be astounding. Did you know that according to the CIO magazine, 71% of failed software projects are traced to poor requirements? 40% of the effort in an average software project is fixing errors. The Butler Group reported in 2005 that requirements defects account for 56% of rework. 250 billion of annual waste is traced to poor requirements globally. The US Bureau of Economic Analysis states that in 2008, 194.4 billion was spent on software development. 46 billion is spent on fixing software requirements errors USA. If we examine those last two numbers from the USA, almost 25% of all spending on software is rework associated with requirements. It is clear that improving business analysis capabilities can have a significant impact on the bottom line. Let's begin by first defining business analysis. Business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. In an enterprise, business analysis is performed on a variety of initiatives. An initiative may be strategic, tactical, or operational. Business analysis is performed within the boundaries of a project or for continuous improvement of a business. Let's begin by understanding what IIBA is. The International Institute of Business Analysis, or IIBA, was founded in Toronto, Canada in October 2003 to support the business analysis community. As a professional association, IIBA assists business analysts by defining standards for business analysis through the creation of a Guide to the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, or BABOK Guide, a summary of the knowledge within the BA profession reflecting current generally accepted practices. Identifying the skills necessary to be effective in the business analyst role through the IIBA Business Analysis Competency Model and Self-Assessment Tool. Recognizing business analysis professionals through the Entry Certificate in Business Analysis, or ECBA, Certification of Capability in Business Analysis, or CCBA, and Certified Business Analysis Professional, or CBAP, certifications. In this lesson, we'll look at the CBAP certification details. As a member of IIBA, you can take advantage of the following opportunities to advance your career: elevate your skill set, develop leadership skills, expand your network. To enhance your skill set, access resources including the BABOK Guide, Competency Model, Building Business Capability, or BBC Conference, IIBA Webinar Series, online library, and more. To develop leadership skills, volunteer with the international organization or your local chapter to gain leadership training, develop communication skills, and receive many other benefits. To expand your network, Attend networking and chapter events and join the online community to exchange ideas with peers, learn from experts in your field, and meet key professional contacts. The CBAP certification provides several benefits both to the individual as well as to organizations. Benefits to the individual may include the following: competence in the principles and practices of business analysis, participation in a recognized professional group, recognition of professional competence by professional peers and management, advanced career potential due to recognition as a professional business analysis practitioner, personal satisfaction of accomplishing a milestone in your business analysis career, improved overall performance, removal of uncertainty, and wider market opportunities with the certification. Ensuring you are continually improving and refining your activities through the process of achieving and maintaining certification. Potential for higher income for being formally recognized as an experienced business analysis professional. Recognition for having invested in a business analysis career and encouragement to keep doing so. Benefits to the organization may include the following: provides professional development, advancement, and recognition opportunities for staff. Demonstrates to customers, competitors, suppliers, staff, and investors that you use industry-standard business analysis practices. Demonstrates to your stakeholders that your business is run effectively. Improves staff responsibility, commitment, and motivation through regular assessment. Helps establish and implement business analysis practices as outlined in A Guide to the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, BABOK Guide, by individuals recognized as being knowledgeable and skilled. Helps produce more reliable and higher quality results with increased efficiency and consistency by business analysis professionals who use industry-standard business analysis techniques. Enables identification of professional business analysts to clients and business partners. Demonstrates commitment to the field of business analysis, increasingly recognized as a vital component of any successful project. Next, let's look at the eligibility requirements for the exam-based Certified Business Analysis Professional, or CBAP certification. Work experience needed: minimum 7,500 hours of BA experience in the last 10 years. Knowledge area expertise: minimum 900 hours in 4 of the 6 knowledge areas. Professional development: 35 hours in the last 4 years. References: 2. Signed code of conduct: yes. Applying and taking the exam is a 5-step process. Step 1. You apply for and pay for the certification. Step 2. You pay for the exam. Step 3. You register for the exam. Step 4. You prepare for the exam. Step 5. You take the exam. Application and exam fees include the following: a non-refundable application fee of $125 for members and non-members. Exam fee in English and Japanese of $325 for members and $450 for non-members. Exam fee in German of $770 for members and $880 for non-members. Other fees applicable include exam cancellation fee, or CBT, which is $50 for members and non-members. Exam rewrite fee in English and Japanese is $250 for members and $375 for non-members. Exam rewrite fee in German is $430 for members and $540 for non-members. Note that IIBA, in partnership with the European Association of Business Analysis, or EABA, is now offering business analysis certification exams in German-speaking Europe and at all test center locations where IIBA exams are offered. All fees are payable in US dollars. If you are a Canadian resident or a GST or HST, that is Goods and Services Tax and Harmonized Sales Tax registrant, GST or HST must also be paid. The application fee is not refundable regardless of whether an application is approved or approved pending audit, and if an application audit is not passed. The CBAP exam is a 3.5-hour-long exam and consists of 150 multiple-choice questions, with 4 possible answers to select from. IIBA has some recommendations on how to prepare for the exam. Note that these recommendations are guidelines and do not necessarily guarantee your passing the exam. Review the IIBA Babok Guide. Review the Babok Learning Guide found in the online library on the community network. Review frequently asked questions on the IIBA website. Review recommended resources on the IIBA website. Attend training as needed. Find opportunities in day-to-day work to practice tasks by following the Babok Guide. Find a business analysis mentor. Join a study group. Attend local IIBA chapter meetings. Review available study guides. Shown here are the percentages of questions from the different knowledge areas in the CBAP tests. Business analysis planning and monitoring is 14%. Elicitation and collaboration is 12%. Requirements lifecycle management is 15%. Strategy analysis is 15%. Requirements analysis and design definition is 30%. Solution evaluation is 14%. Individuals who have attained the CBAP designation must demonstrate an ongoing professional commitment to the business analysis profession by satisfying the CBAP recertification program. There are 2 reasons for recertification: to ensure that the business analysis professional is keeping up with changes in the profession, to ensure that the business analysis professional contributes to the profession. The recertification program supports the ongoing professional development of individuals who have attained the CBAP designation, referred to as a CBAP recipient. The purposes of recertification are as follows: to encourage the ongoing professional development of CBAP recipients, to encourage and recognize individualized learning, to encourage the efforts of CBAP recipients to give back to the profession, to offer a standard and objective mechanism for recording professional development activities, to sustain the global recognition and value of the CBAP designation. All CBAP recipients are required to meet continuing proficiency requirements to maintain their designation. Continuing proficiency is one of the important benchmarks of a quality certification program. About renewing your certification. The IIBA certification needs to be renewed every 3 years. The CBAP recertification handbook and related forms are posted on the IIBA website. Additionally, note that to ensure receiving all IIBA communication, update your email address in your profile on the IIBA website. Email communications from IIBA may inadvertently be blocked or forwarded to bulk mail folders by some spam filters. CBAP recipients should, therefore, add certification@iiba.org to their personal address book in their email program to help ensure important certification program messages from IIBA, specifically those from the certification team, are received. CBAP recipients must normally report 60 accepted CDUs and submit their recertification application prior to the end of their 3-year cycle to avoid suspension of their credentials. Continuing Development Units, or CDU. Earned CDUs must be reported using the CBAP CDU reporting form. The recertification program organizes CDUs into 6 categories. 1. Formal academic education. 2. Professional development. 3. Professional activities. 4. Self-directed learning. 5. Volunteer service. 6. Professional experience. Please refer to the recertification handbook for the maximum number of CDUs allowed under each category. Before we get started with the lesson, let's consider some interesting facts. Companies, regardless of the economy, continue to increase their investment on software development. The cost of getting it wrong can be astounding. Did you know that according to the CIO magazine, 71% of failed software projects are traced to poor requirements? 40% of the effort in an average software project is fixing errors. The Butler Group reported in 2005 that requirements defects account for 56% of rework. 250 billion of annual waste is traced to poor requirements globally. The U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis states that in 2008, $194.4 billion was spent on software development. 46 billion is spent on fixing software requirements errors USA. If we examine those last two numbers from the USA, almost 25% of all spending on software is rework associated with requirements. It is clear that improving business analysis capabilities can have a significant impact on the bottom line. Let's get started with the lesson Introduction to BABOK Guide to learn the business analysis key concepts, tools and techniques, competencies and knowledge areas to improve business analysis capabilities. This lesson will take you through who is a business analyst, business analysis core concept model, business analysis knowledge areas, requirements classification, requirements and design, who is a stakeholder. Let's begin by first defining business analysis. Business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. In an enterprise, business analysis is performed on a variety of initiatives. An initiative may be strategic, tactical, or operational. Business analysis is performed within the boundaries of a project or for continuous improvement of a business. Let's next discuss what the role of a business analyst is in an enterprise. A business analyst is any person who performs the business analysis tasks described in the BABOK Guide, no matter what their job title or role is in an organization. A business analyst is responsible for discovering, synthesizing, and analyzing information, eliciting the actual needs of stakeholders, investigating and clarifying the expressed desires of stakeholders, determining underlying issues and their causes. These are the core responsibilities of a business analyst. However, a business analyst may also perform other activities as required by the organization. For business analysts, the Business Analysis Core Concept Model, or BACM, defines the conceptual framework for business analysis. BACM defines 6 terms that convey the same meaning to all business analysts: change, need, solution, stakeholder, value, and context. Let's understand what these terms mean. Change is an act of transformation in response to a need. Change is for improving the performance of an organization and is controlled through business analysis activities. To improve the overall performance of an organization, a business analyst defines the change strategy based on the need. Need is a problem or opportunity to be addressed. Needs can arise internally or externally. Needs can be addressed by enhancing an existing solution or introducing a new solution. Solution is a way to satisfy one or more needs in a context. A solution helps a stakeholder resolve a problem or take advantage of an opportunity. A stakeholder is a group or individual related to the change, need, or solution. A stakeholder is involved, is impacted positively or negatively by the outcome of change, or can influence the change. Value is usefulness to a stakeholder within a context. Value can be tangible or intangible. Tangible values are often measurable and have a monetary component. Intangible values are measured indirectly and have motivational, compliance, morale, satisfaction, or reputation components. Context includes the circumstances that influence or are influenced by and provide understanding of the change. Changes occur within a context. Therefore, a business analyst recommends the most viable solution within the context. These 6 components are interrelated and are referred to in the definition of business analysis. Business analysts shall consider how each core concept is addressed while planning or performing tasks by asking questions around each of these terms. We will refer to the Business Analysis Core Concept Model when discussing the business analysis knowledge areas in subsequent lessons. The 6 core concepts we discussed may be used or applied when performing the tasks within the business analysis knowledge areas. So let's discuss the knowledge areas defined in the BABOK Guide, which is a common framework for all perspectives. The BABOK Guide describes 6 business analysis knowledge areas. These encompass several tasks to be performed in the practice of business analysis. The 6 business analysis knowledge areas include business analysis planning and monitoring, elicitation and collaboration, requirements lifecycle management, strategy analysis, requirements analysis and design definition, or RADD, solution evaluation. The Business Analysis Planning and Monitoring knowledge area describes the tasks to be performed to organize and coordinate the effort of business analysts and stakeholders. Output from the tasks performed in this knowledge area is used as a key input or as guidelines for the tasks performed in other knowledge areas. Elicitation and collaboration describes the tasks to be performed to prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, and confirm elicitation results. It also describes how communication of business analysis information and ongoing collaboration must be done with stakeholders. Requirements lifecycle management describes the tasks to be performed to manage and maintain requirements and design information from inception to retirement. Strategy analysis describes the tasks to be performed for collaboration with the stakeholders to identify the real need and enable the organization to address that need. It also describes the tasks for aligning the resulting strategy for change with higher and lower level strategies of the organization. Requirements analysis and design definition describes the tasks to be performed to structure and organize requirements discovered during the elicitation activity, specify and model requirements and design, validate and verify information, and identify solution options that meet the business need. Solution evaluation describes the tasks to be performed to assess the performance of and value delivered by a solution and recommend actions to be taken to realize the full value of the solution. Let's look into the relationship between these 6 knowledge areas next. The 6 knowledge areas are all interlinked. Business analysis planning and monitoring governs all the tasks performed in other knowledge areas. Requirements are elicited through elicitation tasks with stakeholder collaboration in elicitation and collaboration knowledge area. These requirements are managed in requirements lifecycle management knowledge area. Requirements are analyzed and documented in 3 core business analysis knowledge areas: strategy analysis, requirements analysis and design definition, and solution evaluation. We have seen how requirements are managed, analyzed, or documented in different knowledge areas. Let's discuss requirements themselves. Requirements are classified as business requirements, stakeholder requirements, solutions requirements, transition requirements. Let's look at details of each of these requirements. Business requirements. Business requirements are statements of goals, objectives, and outcome that describe why a change has been initiated. Business requirements are analyzed and documented in the strategy analysis knowledge area. Stakeholder requirements. Stakeholder requirements describe the needs of the stakeholders that must be met in order to achieve the business requirements. Stakeholder requirements are analyzed and documented in the requirements analysis and design definition knowledge areas. Stakeholder requirements bridge business requirements and solution requirements. Solution requirements. Solution requirements describe the capabilities and qualities of a solution that meet stakeholder requirements. Solution requirements are analyzed and documented in the requirements analysis and design definition knowledge areas. Solution requirements can be further classified into functional and non-functional requirements. Functional requirements are capabilities that a solution must have. Non-functional requirements are qualities that a solution must have. Transition requirements. Transition requirements describe the capabilities that the solution must have to facilitate transition of the organization from the current state to the future state. Transition requirements are analyzed and documented in the solution evaluation knowledge area. Slide 18. Some of the requirements documents include B or D, business requirements documents comprising both business and stakeholder requirements. FSD, functional specification document, and SRS, solution requirements specification. Other requirements such as project requirements and design requirements are outside the purview of a business analyst. Requirements lead to design. As design evolves, it leads to discovery and analysis of information. A requirement or a set of requirements may be used to define design. While requirements are focused on needs, design is focused on the solution. Requirements and design could be recursive. Business analysis tasks, such as specify and model requirements, may refer to requirements, but the intent is to include design as well. Solutions are designed by a business architect and implemented by subject matter experts. However, a business analyst reviews the final designs to ensure that they align with the requirements. A stakeholder is an individual or group that a business analyst is likely to interact with directly or indirectly. The Babok Guide refers to the following stakeholders. Business analyst is an individual or group performing business analysis activities. Business analyst shall be interacting with internal and external stakeholders. Project manager, implementation subject matter experts, operational support, tester, and domain subject matter experts are the internal stakeholder. Supplier, customer, end user, regulator, and sponsor are the external stakeholder. Sponsor, end user, and regulators can be internal for in-house initiatives. During project phase, the business analyst and project manager need to work closely for the success of the project. Project managers are responsible for the work required to deliver the solution. Implementation subject matter experts are responsible for the designing, construction, or developing the solution. Operational support is responsible for day-to-day maintenance of deployed or to-be-deployed solution and source for operational requirements. Testers are responsible for verifying the solution. They contribute in defining acceptance criteria. Domain subject matter experts are having in-depth domain knowledge relevant to the business need or solution scope. Suppliers provide products or services to the organization. Customers may use products or services produced by the organization. End users directly interact with products, services, or solutions. Regulators are responsible for defining and enforcing standards. Sponsors are responsible for initiating the effort to define business need and solution. This topic will take you through the techniques for business analysis referred to by Babok v3. A business analyst may use different techniques while performing the tasks in the business analysis knowledge areas. Of the techniques used to accomplish tasks, 50 business analysis techniques are referred to in Babok version 3. These are listed here. We will discuss each of these techniques as we progress through the course. This topic will introduce you to business analysis perspectives. In addition to business analysis techniques, Babok also describes perspectives. Perspectives provide focus to tasks and techniques specific to the context of an initiative. Perspectives are not mutually exclusive. Most initiatives are likely to engage one or more perspectives. For example, if solution to an IT project involves changes to the business process, then the approach must be agile. Here, Agile information technology and business process management perspectives are used. Large and complex initiatives might need to engage all the perspectives. 5 perspectives are included in the Babok: Agile, business intelligence, information technology, business architecture, and business process management. We'll discuss these next. Let's look at the Agile perspective. An Agile initiative involves an Agile mindset, Agile values and perspectives, progressive elaboration of business planning, elicitation, analysis, design, and construction of solution. Agile advocates lightweight documentation, informal face-to-face communication, just-in-time requirements, flexibility for change. Business analysis work is performed throughout an Agile initiative, and so a business analyst is an active member of an Agile team. Agile perspectives highlight the unique characteristics of business analysis in the context of Agile environments. Business intelligence perspective. Data is an organizational asset. The business intelligence perspective highlights the unique characteristics of business analysis in the context of transformation, integration, and enhancing data. Business intelligence is the transformation of data into valuable information so that stakeholders can take informed decisions. Business intelligence also helps stakeholders to manage strategic, tactical, and operational performance. Information technology perspective. The information technology perspective highlights the unique characteristics of business analysis in the context of the impact of change on information technology systems in an organization. IT is constantly evolving. Organizations need to undertake initiatives to upgrade or replace IT systems. Initiative may be as small as bug fixes and enhancements to one system, or as large as re-engineering the entire information technology infrastructure. A business analyst plays the role of translator between business and technology teams and helps them understand each other and align with organizational strategy. Business architecture perspective. The business architecture perspective highlights the unique characteristics of business analysis in the context of business architecture. Business architecture models the enterprise to show how strategic concerns of stakeholders are met and support ongoing business transformation efforts. This involves analytical thinking and applying architectural principles at the enterprise level. The solution may include changes to business, operational model, or structure to support ongoing business transformation. Business process management perspective. Business process management perspective highlights the unique characteristics of business analysis in the context of developing or improving business processes. The business process management discipline focuses on how an organization works across multiple functional areas and delivers value through process-centric lens to improve business processes. Business process management is an integral part of ongoing management and operations of the organizations. We will be discussing these perspectives in detail in upcoming lessons. Can you think of performing business analysis activities without planning or determining how you will monitor it? What happens if you start performing business analysis activities without planning? Sooner or later, you will land in a chaotic situation. The stakeholder may not know what their role is in business analysis work and when they need to be available. They may not know the business analysis approach, how information will be managed, or how decisions will be made. So there are many reasons to say planning is essential. Do you think it is important to determine how you are going to monitor business analysis work? Why? What happens if you start performing business analysis activities without determining how you are going to monitor? How do you know the approach and technique used are effective? What action should be taken to improve performance? This lesson on business analysis planning and monitoring will take you through business analysis activities and how to plan for them. For business analysts, the Business Analysis Core Concept Model, or BACM, defines the conceptual framework for the business analysis profession. BACM defines 6 terms that convey the same meaning to all business analysts: change, need, solution, stakeholder, value, and context. Let's understand what these terms mean. Change is an act of transformation in response to need. Change is for improving the performance of an organization and is controlled through business analysis activities. To improve the overall performance of an organization, a business analyst defines the change strategy based on the need. Need is a problem or opportunity to be addressed. Needs can arise internally or externally. Needs can be addressed by enhancing an existing solution or introducing a new solution. Solution is a way to satisfy one or more needs in a context. A solution helps a stakeholder resolve a problem or take advantage of an opportunity. A stakeholder is a group or individual related to a change, need, or solution. A stakeholder is involved, is impacted positively or negatively by the outcome of change, or can influence the change. Value is usefulness to a stakeholder within a context. Value can be tangible or intangible. Tangible values are often measurable and have a monetary component. Intangible values are measured indirectly and have motivational, compliance, morale, satisfaction, or reputation components. Context includes the circumstances that influence or are influenced by and provide understanding of the change. Changes occur within a context. Therefore, a business analyst recommends the most viable solution within the context. These 6 components are interrelated and are referred to in the definition of business analysis. Business analysts shall consider how each core concept is addressed while planning or performing tasks by asking questions around each of these terms. We will refer to the Business Analysis Core Concept Model when discussing the business analysis knowledge areas in subsequent lessons. 5 tasks are performed in business analysis planning and monitoring. 4 planning tasks and 1 monitoring task. Plan business analysis approach, plan stakeholder engagement, plan business analysis governance, plan business analysis information management, identify business analysis performance improvements. Business analyst starts performing business analyst tasks when there is a need, that is, problem or opportunity. It's important to consider internal and external influences while planning for business analysis approach, governance, information management, and stakeholder engagement. 4 planning documents are developed in this knowledge area, which governs the tasks performed in other knowledge areas. Business analysis approach is an output of plan business analysis approach task. Stakeholder engagement approach is an output of planned stakeholder engagement task. Governance approach is an output of plan business analysis governance task. Information management approach is an output of plan business analysis information management task. Business analysis performance assessment is an output of identify business analysis performance improvements task. Let's discuss each of these tasks in detail. The first task in this knowledge area is Plan Business Analysis Approach. The purpose is to define the overall method to conduct business analysis activities. Let's deep dive into this task. The purpose of Business Analysis Approach is to define the overall method to conduct business analysis activities and the approach of making the change. Business Analysis Approach describes the planning of business analysis work from creation or selection of a methodology. Identify BA deliverables and define activities and tasks based on the methodology. Business Analysis Approach should provide adequate analysis for the change. Approach may be defined by methodology or organization standards. Need is an input to this task. Consider need, what is known at the time of planning, while defining BA approach. Output of this task is Business Analysis Approach. It is an approach for performing business analysis activities, who will perform, and the timing and sequencing. Let's look at the elements of this task next. All planning methods falls between predictive and adaptive approaches. Predictive approach is also known as plan-driven, where upfront planning is heavy. Adaptive approach is also known as change-driven, where there is a little bit of upfront planning and rest of the planning is iterative. Formality and level of details of BA deliverables are based on the planning approach. In adaptive approach, BA deliverables are informal and at a high level. It's progressively elaborated on as work progresses, and most of the elaboration is done just in time through conversation with the team. BA deliverables are barely sufficient such that implementation team can start developing or constructing the solution. Next element is to identify the activities required to complete each deliverables and breaking activities into tasks, and to determine when the BA tasks need to be performed. Consider the complexity and the size of the change, and the overall risk while planning business analysis approach. It's important that the business analysis approach is reviewed and agreed upon by key stakeholders. Apart from inputs discussed earlier, business analysis performance assessment and stakeholder engagement approach may be used as the guidelines and tools while planning business analysis approach. Business analysis performance assessment provides results from previous assessments incorporated into all business analysis planning approach. Stakeholder engagement approach helps in understanding the stakeholders' concerns and interest and influence decisions on the planning approach. Business policies, methodologies, and framework, expert judgment may be used as guidance while planning business analysis approach. Business policies defines the limits within which decisions must be made, regulations, contracts, etc. Methodologies and framework may be needed to be tailored to meet the needs. Expert judgment may be used to determine the optimal business analysis approach. 15 techniques may be used while planning business analysis approach depending on the initiative. Brainstorming, interviews, survey and questionnaire, and workshops technique may be helpful in identifying possible business analysis deliverables, activities, tasks, risks, and any other relevant items to build business analysis approach. Business cases helps in understanding time-sensitive value or any uncertainty around the need or solution. Document analysis technique is used to review existing organization assets that might be helpful in planning business analysis approach. Estimation technique is used to determine how long it may take to perform business analysis activities. Financial analysis is used to assess how different approaches affect the value delivered. Functional decomposition technique is used to break down complex business analysis process into smaller components. Item tracking is used to track any issue raised by the stakeholder while planning business analysis approach. Lessons learned is used to identify success and challenges with different business analysis approaches from the previous experiences. Process modeling technique is used to model business analysis process. Reviews are used to review business analysis approach with key stakeholders. Risk analysis and management is used to assess the risk in order to select the proper business analysis approach. Scope modeling is used to determine boundaries of the solution as an input to the planning. There are 50 techniques referred in Babok version 3. We will learn each of these techniques in different knowledge areas. Technique in bold indicates we will be going through in detail in upcoming slides. Let's look into lessons learned technique in detail. Lessons learned sessions are conducted in groups at every milestone or at the end of iteration or project phase. The purpose of lessons learned process is to compile and document successes, opportunities for improvement, failures, and recommendations for improving the performance of future projects or project phases. In Agile methodology, a lessons learned is referred as retrospective. A lessons learned sessions can be formal or informal working sessions. It helps in reinforcing positive experiences and successes, and reducing risks for future actions. There are certain limitations to this technique. Participants may be reluctant to document and discuss problems. Honest discussion may not occur if participants try to assign blame during the sessions. Lessons learned sessions may include review of business analysis activities and deliverables, the final solution, service or product, impact to organizational processes, performance expectations and results, positive or negative variance, root cause of results impacting performance, recommendations for behavioral approaches. A celebration may be included in lessons learned sessions if there is any notable achievement during iteration, project phase, or project. Business analyst may involve the domain subject matter expert, project manager, regulator, and sponsor in this task. Second task in this knowledge area is plan stakeholder engagement. The purpose is to plan an approach for establishing and maintaining effective working relationships with stakeholders. Let's deep dive into this task. The purpose of this task is to plan an approach for establishing and maintaining effective working relationships with stakeholders. The first step is to identify the stakeholder and analyze stakeholder characteristics, such as roles, attitude, authority, impact, influence, power, and so on. The identify stakeholder and analyze stakeholder activities are performed repeatedly throughout an initiative. Also consider stakeholder complexity while planning for stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder complexity increases as the number of stakeholders involved in business analysis activity increases. What do we need in order to plan stakeholder engagement? First is understanding business need, and the parts of the enterprise it affects help in identification of stakeholder by reviewing organizational chart. Second, business analysis approach, because stakeholder engagement approach should align with business analysis approach. Output is the stakeholder engagement approach. Stakeholder engagement approach includes stakeholder analysis, understanding stakeholder communication need, and planning stakeholder collaboration to ensure effective collaboration with stakeholder in business analysis activities. Apart from inputs discussed earlier, business analysis performance assessment, change strategy, and current state description may be used as a guideline and tool while planning stakeholder engagement. Business analysis performance assessment provides results from previous assessments incorporated into stakeholder engagement approach. Change strategy is used in development of stakeholder engagement strategies. Current state description provides the context which can be used in stakeholder analysis and understanding the impact of the desired change. 13 techniques may be used while planning stakeholders analysis approach. The brainstorming technique may be helpful in identifying stakeholder. Business rules analysis helps in identifying stakeholder who are source of the business rules. The document analysis technique is used to review existing organization assets that might be helpful in planning stakeholder engagement. The interviews technique is used to gain more knowledge about the stakeholder or stakeholder groups. Lessons learned is used to identify success and challenges with planning stakeholder engagement. Mind mapping is used to identify stakeholders. Organizational modeling is used to identify stakeholder and determine common needs and interest. The process modeling technique is used to categorize stakeholder by the systems that support their business processes. Risk analysis and management is used to assess the risk to the initiatives because of stakeholder attitude. Scope modeling is to show stakeholder outside the scope of the solution. Stakeholder list, map, or personas are used to depict the relationship of stakeholders. The survey and questionnaire techniques helps in identifying common characteristics of stakeholder. Workshops are used to gain more information about the stakeholder. There are 50 techniques referred in Babok version 3. We will learn each of these techniques in different knowledge areas. Technique in bold indicates we will be going through in detail in upcoming slides. Let's look into organizational modeling and stakeholder list, map, or persona technique in detail. The purpose of organizational modeling technique is to describe the roles, responsibilities, and reporting structure that exist within an organization and to align those structures with the organizational goals. Organizational model is a visual representation of the organizational unit which defines the boundaries of a group, who is in the group, the formal relationships between members, who reports to whom. Organization chart doesn't reflect informal lines of authority, influence, and communication. The functional role of each person and the interfaces, interaction, and dependencies between the unit or stakeholders. Organization models are common in most organizations, however, models are sometimes out of date. 3 types of organizational models are prominent: functionally oriented, market-oriented, matrix model. Organization unit includes a number of roles. Each organization unit has interfaces with other organization units. Organization chart is used in the organization modeling using boxes depicting organization units, roles, and people, and a line depicting reporting or formal communication channel. Business analyst also needs to identify informal lines of communication which can influence business analysis activities. Let's see an example of an organization chart in the upcoming slide. Example of organizational modeling: functionally oriented, which shows reporting structure and formal line of communication. Now let us discuss one more business analysis technique: stakeholder list, map, or personas. Stakeholder lists, maps, and personas assist the business analyst in analyzing stakeholders and their characteristics. Stakeholder list is a thorough list of stakeholders. It helps in decisions made regarding stakeholder engagement, collaboration, and communication. Stakeholder analysis involves identifying the stakeholders that may be affected by a proposed initiative or that share a common business need. Stakeholder characteristics are considered while performing stakeholder analysis. They are level of authority within the domain of change, attitude toward or interest in the change, attitude toward the business analysis work, level of decision-making authority. 2 commonly used forms of stakeholder map are stakeholder matrix and stakeholder onion diagram. Stakeholder matrix maps the level of stakeholder influence against interest or impact. Stakeholder onion diagram indicates how stakeholder is involved with the solution. RACI matrix indicates the stakeholder responsibility on the initiative. RACI matrix is created to specify the level of responsibility expected from each stakeholder. RACI stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Personas is defined as a fictional character that explains the typical user interacts with the product. Persona is written in narrative form. This is an example of stakeholder matrix based on interest or impact and influence. In this example, interest or impact and influence levels are low or high. There are 4 quadrants in the 2x2 matrix. 2 quadrants represents low influence or interest, and the other 2 represents high influence or interest. If you use 3 levels, low, medium, and high, then there will be 9 quadrants, 3x3 matrix. Once stakeholder matrix is created, you need to define stakeholder engagement strategy in this 2x2 matrix. First quadrant is high influence and low interest or impact. Since the stakeholder is highly influential and has less interest in the initiative, business analyst needs to ensure that the stakeholder remains satisfied. Second quadrant is high influence and high interest or impact. Since the stakeholder is highly influential and highly interested in the initiative, business analyst needs to work closely with the stakeholder and engage effectively. Third quadrant is low influence and high interest or impact. Since the stakeholder is less influential and highly interested in the initiative, business analyst needs to keep informed, and the stakeholder is likely to be very concerned because of their interest or impact in the initiative. Fourth quadrant is low influence and low interest or impact. Since the stakeholder is less influential and less interested in the initiative, business analyst needs to monitor and ensure the stakeholder's interest or influence does not change. During the project lifecycle, new stakeholders are identified and the existing stakeholder influence or interest or impact might change. Business analyst needs to engage the stakeholder based on the changes in stakeholder characteristics. This is an example of stakeholder onion diagram. This diagram shows how closely the stakeholder is involved with a solution. Core of the onion is solution delivery. This includes the project team and other stakeholders who are directly involved in developing the solution. Next is the affected organizational units. This includes end users, help desk, and others whose work changes when the solution is delivered. Next is the organization or enterprise. This includes sponsors, executives, domain SMEs, and others who interact with the affected group, but their work is not changed and they are not involved in developing the solution. Fourth layer is the affected external stakeholders. This includes customers, suppliers, regulators, and others. RACI matrix provides a level of responsibility expected from stakeholder in business analysis work. RACI is an acronym for Responsible, Accountable, Consult, and Inform. Responsible, a person performing the business analysis task. Accountable, a person or persons who approves. Consulted, person or group to be consulted for input before executing business analysis task. Informed, person or group who will be informed the results of the business analysis task. Personas are fictional generalized characters that encompass the various needs, goals, and observed behavior patterns among customers. The business analyst needs to create personas for each stakeholder group in order to understand better. Personas help in understanding stakeholders' typical work during a day, environment and challenges, roles and responsibilities, reporting structure, and preferences. Appropriate questions must be asked within the context of an initiative in order to create personas, if it is not available as part of organizational assets. The business analyst may involve customer, end user, supplier, regulator, sponsor, project manager, and domain subject matter expert in this task. So far, we have developed business analysis approach and stakeholder engagement approach. We have identified business analysis deliverables and when and what business analysis tasks will be performed. We have answered the questions like: who are the stakeholders, what is their level of responsibility in business analysis work, and how they can influence business analysis work and their relationship with the solution. There are many more questions to be answered. Plan business analysis governance tasks deals with the questions how decisions will be made. How are we going to control changes, prioritize work, and how the deliverables will be approved? The purpose is to define how decisions are made about requirements and designs, including reviews, change control, approval, and prioritization. Let's deep dive into this task. The purpose of this task is to define how decisions are made about requirements and designs, including reviews, change control, approval, and prioritization. Business analysis approach and stakeholder engagement approach are the inputs to this task, and output is governance approach. Elements of governance approach are largely dependent on business analysis approach and stakeholder engagement approach. Business analysis governance approach includes decision-making process, prioritization approach, change control process, and approval process. Business analysis performance assessment provides results from previous assessments incorporated into the governance approach. Business policies define the limits within which decisions must be made. Current state description provides the context, which helps in how to make decisions. Legal or regulatory information describes legislative, rules, or regulations that must be followed, and the same can be used in developing a framework to ensure the decision-making process. 10 techniques may be used while planning business analysis governance, depending on the initiative and business analysis approach and stakeholder engagement approach. Brainstorming, interview, survey and questionnaire, and workshops technique is used to identify possible decision-making, change control, prioritization, and approval process. Document analysis technique is used to review existing governance process. Item tracking is used to track any issue raised by the stakeholder while defining business analysis approach. Lesson learned is used to identify if past experience can be leveraged in current or future initiatives. Organizational modeling is used to identify roles and responsibility within organization to define a governance approach. Process modeling technique is used to document the process for governing business analysis. Reviews are used to review proposed business analysis governance plan with key stakeholders. Business analyst may involve domain subject matter expert, project manager, regulator, and sponsor in planning business analysis governance. The fourth task in this knowledge area is Plan Business Analysis Information Management. In this topic, you will learn to assess business analysis work and to plan to improve processes where required. Let's deep dive into this task. The purpose of this task is to develop the Business Analysis Information Management Plan. The Business Analysis Approach, Stakeholder Engagement Approach, and Business Analysis Governance Approach are the inputs to this task, and its output is the Business Analysis Information Management Approach. Elements of the governance approach are largely dependent on the business analysis approach, the stakeholder engagement approach, and the business analysis governance approach. Business analysis information management includes how business analysis information will be organized, its level of abstraction, traceability approach, planning for requirements reuse, how business analysis information will be stored and accessed, and the attributes of the requirements. Apart from the inputs discussed earlier, a business analyst may use business analysis performance assessment, business policies, information management tools, and legal or regulatory information as guidelines and tools while planning business analysis information management. Business analysis performance assessment provides results from previous assessments that are incorporated into the information management approach. Business policies define the limits within which decisions must be made. Information management tools are available for storing, retrieving, and sharing business analysis information. Legal or regulatory information describes the legislative rules or regulations that must be followed, and that can be used for developing a framework to ensure the decision-making process. 8 techniques may be used while planning business analysis information management, depending on the initiative and business analysis approach, stakeholder engagement approach, and governance approach. Brainstorming, interviews, survey and questionnaire, and workshop techniques are used to uncover the business analysis information needs. Item tracking is used to track issues with the current information management process. Lessons learned is used to identify if past experience can be leveraged in the current or future initiatives. Mind mapping is used to identify and categorize the kinds of information that need to be managed. The process modeling technique is used to document the process of managing business analysis information. The business analyst may involve the domain subject matter expert, regulator, and sponsor in planning business analysis information management. So far, we discussed 4 business analysis planning tasks. The 5th task in this knowledge area is Identify business analysis performance improvements. It is related to monitoring business analysis work. The purpose is to assess business analysis work and to plan to improve processes where required. Let's deep dive into this task. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Statement by Peter Drucker hides questions like what to measure, how to assess, and metrics to use. The purpose of this task is to assess business analysis work and to plan to improve processes where required. Business analysis approach and performance objectives are the inputs to this task, and output is business analysis performance assessment. Elements of governance approach are largely dependent on business analysis approach and performance objectives. Business analysis performance improvement plan includes process of performance analysis, assessment measures, analyzing results, and recommending actions for improvements. The business analyst may use existing measures or define new measures to assess performance of business analysis work. Some possible measures can be accuracy, completeness, knowledge, effectiveness, organizational support, significance, strategic, and timeliness. Business analysis performance results are compared with a set of defined measure. The analysis may be performed on business analysis process, deliverables, and resources involved. Recommended actions can be preventative, corrective, or improvement. Apart from inputs discussed earlier, Organization Performance Standard may be used as a guideline while identifying business analysis performance improvements. Organizational performance standards includes details of performance metrics or expectations for business analysis work mandated by the organization. 13 techniques may be used while planning business analysis performance improvements depending on the initiative and business analysis approach. Brainstorming technique may be helpful in generating ideas for improvement. Interviews technique is used to assess business analysis performance. Item tracker is used to track any issue raised by the stakeholder during business analysis performance improvement process. Lessons learned is used to identify recommended changes which can be incorporated in current initiative. Metrics and key performance indicators, or KPIs, is used to determine appropriate metrics to assess business analysis performance. And observation is used to understand the current state. Process analysis is used to analyze existing business analysis process and identify improvement opportunity. The process modeling technique is used to define business analysis process. Reviews are used to identify changes to business analysis processes and deliverables. Risk analysis and management is used to identify potential events which might impact business analysis work. Root cause analysis is used to identify the underlying cause of failure. The survey and questionnaire technique is used to gather information from stakeholders on business analysis activities and deliverables. Workshops are used to gather assessment of business analysis performance. There are 50 techniques referred in Babok version 3. We will learn each of these techniques in different knowledge areas. Technique in bold indicates we will be going through in detail in upcoming slides. Let's look into the metrics and key performance indicators technique in detail. Metrics and key performance indicators, or KPIs, measure the performance of solutions, solution components, and other matters of interest to stakeholders. A metrics is quantifiable level of an indicator. A key performance indicator, or KPI, measures progress towards a strategic goal or objective. KPIs derive from metrics. KPIs is used to measure the effectiveness of business analysis. Reporting is the process of informing stakeholder of metrics or indicators in specified format and specified intervals. Indicators should be clear, relevant, economical, adequate, quantifiable, trustworthy, and credible. Metrics can be a specific point, threshold, or range. Structure is establishing a monitoring and evaluation system. Reporting includes baseline, current, and target metrics. Visual presentation is more effective than tables. There are 3 factors in assessing the quality of metrics and KPIs: reliability, validity, and timeliness. Business analyst may involve domain subject matter expert, project manager, and sponsor in identifying business analysis performance improvements. According to the Business Analysis Core Competency Model, or BACM, the elicitation and collaboration knowledge area has 6 main components. These are change, need, solution, stakeholder, value, and context. Let us understand each of these in detail. The elicitation techniques are used to identify the characteristics of the change, including stakeholders' concerns. This also determines the extent of elicitation and collaboration required. Elicit, confirm, and communicate needs. Elicitation is iterative and incremental. The understanding of the needs may evolve over time. Elicit, confirm, and communicate are the desired characteristics of proposed solutions. Manage the collaboration with the stakeholders who participate in the business analysis work. Collaborate with the stakeholder to assess the relative value of information provided during elicitation. Apply elicitation techniques to identify business analysis information about the context that may affect the change. 5 tasks are performed in elicitation and collaboration knowledge area. These are: prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation results, communicate business analysis information, manage stakeholder collaboration. While performing the first 3 tasks, you are also managing stakeholder collaboration as per the stakeholder engagement approach. The first 3 tasks of prepare, conduct, and confirm are sequential. Needs and stakeholder engagement approach are inputs to the task prepare for elicitation. Business analysis information and stakeholder engagement approach are inputs to the task communicate business analysis information. Stakeholder engagement approach and business analysis performance assessment are inputs to the task manage stakeholder collaboration. Certain outputs are expected from each task. For example, elicitation activity plan is an output of the task prepare for elicitation. Unconfirmed elicitation results is an output of the task conduct elicitation. Confirmed elicitation results is an output of the task confirm elicitation results. Communicated business analysis information is an output of the task communicate business analysis information. Stakeholder engagement is an output of the task manage stakeholder collaboration. Let's discuss each of these tasks in detail next. This topic will focus on purpose of the preparation task, the elements of the preparation task, the guidelines to be followed and tools to be used, the list of available techniques, and the last element, the stakeholders. Can you do paragliding without any preparation? Can you play cricket without any preparation? Can you cook a nice meal without any preparation? The answer to all of these questions is no. You need to prepare in order to perform any task. Your performance during the tasks also reflects how well you are prepared and your expertise in using techniques. You need to understand the scope, select an appropriate technique, set up the logistics, secure supporting material, and prepare stakeholders who will be participating in the task. Now, can you conduct elicitation without any preparation? You know the answer. What is the purpose of the first task, prepare for elicitation? The purpose of this step is to understand the scope of elicitation activity, select appropriate technique, and plan for supporting material and resources. The inputs are the needs and the stakeholder engagement approach. The output of this task is an elicitation activity plan. The elicitation activity plan enables you to prepare for conducting elicitation sessions based on the scope of elicitation and elicitation technique. It also helps set up the logistics, secure supporting material needed for this task. What are the different elements one would consider while preparing for elicitation? You need to understand the scope, select appropriate technique, set up logistics, secure supporting material, and prepare stakeholders who will be participating in the task. In addition to the inputs discussed, business analysis approach, business objectives, existing business analysis information, and potential value are used as guidelines and tools. Business analysis approach provides general strategy to be used as a guide. Business objectives provide directions towards future state. Existing business analysis information may provide better understanding of scope for a specific elicitation session. Potential value describes the value to be realized by implementing the proposed solution. There are 8 techniques that can be used when preparing for elicitation. List of stakeholders who need to be consulted while preparing for elicitation and who will be participating in the elicitation sessions. Brainstorming and mind mapping are used to identify existing business analysis information and selecting the elicitation technique. Document analysis is used to identify source of the supporting material. Data mining is used to identify information. This may need further investigation. Estimation technique is used to estimate the time and effort required along with associated cost. Interview is used to identify concerns about the planned elicitation activity. Risk analysis and management is used to identify and assess the risk related to elicitation session. The business analyst may involve the domain subject matter expert, the project manager, and the sponsor in this task. A domain subject matter expert provides supporting material and guidance. A project manager may help in ensuring appropriate people and resources are available for conducting elicitation session. A sponsor may approve or deny a planned elicitation event. This topic will focus on purpose of the conducting elicitation task, the elements of conducting the elicitation task, the guidelines to be followed and the tools to be used during the elicitation task, the list of available techniques, and the stakeholders involved during the conducting elicitation task. The purpose of this task is to draw out, explore, and identify information relevant to change. You have supporting material, resources, and activity plan to conduct elicitation results. When you are performing the elicitation activity in a team setting, you need to guide the elicitation session and capture elicitation results. If you are engaging in moderating or facilitating the session, then it is good that someone else performs the role of a scribe. Output of this task is unconfirmed elicitation results. There are 3 common types of elicitation: collaborative, research, and experiment. In collaborative elicitation, business analyst interacts with the stakeholder and relies on their experience. In research elicitation, business analyst is discovering information from materials such as documents. The stakeholder may not be aware of this information. In experiments, business analyst discovers information without relying on the stakeholder or the documents. prototyping, and proof of concept are examples of elicitation through experiments. When you are performing elicitation activity in a team setting, you need to guide the elicitation session. You need to capture elicitation results. If you are engaging in moderating or facilitating the session, then it is good to have someone else perform the role of a scribe. Apart from the inputs discussed earlier, business analysis approach, existing business analysis information, stakeholder engagement approach, and support materials can be used as guidelines and tools. The business analysis approach influences elicitation techniques and business analysis deliverables. The existing business analysis information may guide the questions to be asked during elicitation. The stakeholder engagement approach provides collaboration and communication approach to be used during elicitation. The supporting material includes any material required to prepare the business analyst and the participants and equipment required during elicitation. The business analyst has 18 techniques at their disposal when eliciting business information. The selection of techniques will depend upon the scope of elicitation, the existing business analysis information, and business analysis approach used. Two techniques, namely workshops and interviews, are extremely useful. A business analyst will generally hold a series of workshops to refine the requirements and obtain approval. The business analyst may use a combination of techniques. For example, brainstorming, interview, and mind mapping during requirements workshop. Project timelines are a challenge. The business analysts are expected to perform and complete business analysis tasks quickly. In most of the techniques, you will need to involve the stakeholders. The availability of the stakeholders is another challenge. The business analyst must try to determine what should be done to utilize stakeholders' time effectively. The business analyst may use some techniques without involving the stakeholder. Some of these techniques are benchmarking and market analysis, document analysis, and observation to understand the current state, mind mapping to articulate and capture thoughts, ideas, and information. There are 50 techniques referred in Babok version 3. We will learn each of these techniques in different knowledge areas. Let's look at 10 techniques: document analysis, observation, brainstorming, collaborative games, workshops, focus groups, survey and questionnaire, prototyping, interface analysis, and interviews in detail. Document analysis is used to elicit business analysis information by examining available materials that describe either business environment or existing organizational assets. It is also used to understand the context of a business need. It can be used to understand solution currently implemented. It also helps to validate findings from other elicitation efforts. It helps in engaging stakeholder effectively during elicitation and also saves stakeholders time. It does have some limitations. If there is a wide range of sources, the effect may be time-consuming. Also, outdated documents may cause confusion. Elements of document analysis technique are preparation, document review and analysis, and record findings. During preparation, the business analyst considers whether the source document is relevant, current, and has data or information required. Also, the business analyst must ensure the content is easy to understand. The document review and analysis includes a detailed review of each document and recording notes. Also, it identifies if the notes are conflicting or duplicated. If required, drills down to subtopics. When recording findings, consider if the level of detail is appropriate for the intended stakeholders. Ask yourself, how do you represent information to improve understanding? Observation is used to elicit information by viewing and understanding activities and their context. Observation of activities is also known as job shadowing. There are two approaches to this: active or noticeable and passive or unnoticeable. Observers can gain realistic and practical insight about the activities and their tasks within an overall process. It may be disruptive to the day-to-day operations. Participants may tend to alter their work practices when observed. It's not suitable for knowledge-based activities since these are not directly observable. Elements of the observation technique are: define the objectives of the observation, prepare for observation, conduct the observation session, confirm and present observation session findings. The aim of brainstorming is to produce numerous ideas and to produce a broad or diverse set of options in a short period of time. Brainstorming works by focusing on a topic or a problem. The participants are encouraged to use new ways of looking at things in a group, non-judgmental environment to foster creativity. Effectiveness of the brainstorming session depends upon individual creativity and willingness to participate. The brainstorming session has 3 phases: preparation, session, and wrap-up. During preparation for elicitation task, the business analyst will define the topic or problem, determine the time limit, identify the participants, and establish the evaluation criteria. The brainstorming session begins with reiterating the topic or problem, the time limit, and the evaluation criteria. During the session, participants share ideas, build on each other's ideas, and elicit as many ideas as possible. In the wrap-up phase, participants discuss and evaluate ideas using predetermined criteria, create a list, rate ideas, and distribute the list to the appropriate stakeholders. The collaborative games technique encourages participants to collaborate in building common understanding of a problem or a solution. This technique is used in an adaptive or agile methodology. In Agile, the requirements and design are progressively elaborated. Most of the business analysis information is informal, just in time, and derived from conversation with the team. Each game includes some rules to keep participants focused on a specific objective. Business analyst may consider involving a facilitator to ensure that the game moves forward and that all participants play an active role. The shared experience from collaborative games encourages creative thinking in a game environment, but it may also make some participants with reserved personalities uncomfortable. It is time-consuming and may be perceived as unproductive if the objectives or intended outcomes are unclear. There are 3 elements of this technique: game purpose, process, and outcome. The process element has 3 parts: opening, exploration, and closing. In the opening part, the participants learn the rules of the game. In the exploration part, the participants generate ideas, and in the closing part, the ideas are assessed. An idea which is most likely to be productive is selected. At the end of the collaborative games, the facilitator and the participants work through the results and determine the decision. In this example of a game, the product box is used to identify features of a product. The participants construct a box and identify the features of a product. The affinity map is used to identify related or similar features or themes. Participants write down features on sticky notes and put them on the wall. Thereafter, similar features are grouped. Fishbowl is used to identify the hidden assumptions or perspective. Participants are divided into 2 groups. One group explains the feature, and the other group listens and documents their observations. This is the most common technique used during planning, analysis, design, scoping requirements, elicitation, modelling, etc. A workshop is a focused event in which the key stakeholders and the SMEs collaborate on achieving a predefined goal. The stakeholder collaborates, makes decisions, and gains a mutual understanding in a relatively short period of time. The cost of conducting workshops are lower than the individual interviews. There are some limitations. The availability of the stakeholder may be a challenge. The success of the workshop depends upon the facilitator and the knowledge of the participants. Too many participants slows down the process. Too few participants can lead to overlooking the needs or issues that might be important to other stakeholders. The business analyst prepares for the workshop and identifies the participants, facilitator, scribe, and timekeeper. The business analyst conducts the workshop. Post-workshop, the business analyst completes the documentation, follows up on any open action items, distributes the elicitation results to the workshop attendees and any stakeholder who need to be informed about the outcome of the workshop. A focus group is used to elicit ideas or opinions about a specific product, service, or opportunity in an interactive group environment. Participants are pre-qualified. Their objective is to discuss and comment on a topic within a context. Group size of 6 to 12 can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. It's a form of qualitative research. Participants share their perspectives and attitudes. The advantage is its cost effectiveness in comparison to conducting individual interviews with the same number of people. The disadvantage is that the participants may be concerned about issues of trust. One vocal participant can sway the results of the focus group. The following are the elements of the focus groups. Define objectives of focus group session, plan for the location, logistics, participants, budget, timelines, and the outcomes. Prepare the discussion guide. Assign a moderator and a recorder. Conduct the focus group. Transcribe the results of the focus group sessions as soon as possible. In the survey or questionnaire elicitation technique, a survey is first distributed. The responses are collected and then analysed. A survey or questionnaire is used to elicit business analysis information about the customer, the product, the work practices, and the attitude from a group of people in a structured way and in a relatively short period of time. Close-ended and open-ended questions are used in the survey design. This technique is quick and relatively inexpensive to administer. It is effective and efficient when the stakeholders are geographically dispersed. There are some limitations. The response rates may be too low for statistical significance. The ambiguous questions may be left unanswered or answered incorrectly. The use of open-ended questions requires more analysis. Let us now discuss the elements involved in the survey or questionnaire elicitation technique. First step is to prepare the survey or questionnaire. 1. Define the objective. 2. Define the target survey group. 3. Choose the appropriate survey or questionnaire type. 4. Select the sample group. 5. Select the distribution and collection methods. 6. Set the target level and timeline for response. 7. Determine if the survey or questionnaire should be supported with individual interviews. Next step is distribution of the survey or questionnaire and then collecting and documenting the responses. Prototyping is used to elicit and validate the stakeholder needs through an iterative process that creates a model or design of requirements. It is used to optimize the user experience and also to evaluate design options. It is used as the basis for development of the final business solution. It is widely used in product design. It is also used to identify missing and incorrect requirements. A prototype provides a visual representation of the future state and allows the stakeholder to provide inputs early in the design process. However, if the prototype is in detail, then the stakeholder may develop unrealistic expectations about the final solution. Stakeholder may focus more on the design of the solution rather than requirements. If the system is highly complex, then discussion might be more on how are we going to build rather than what are we required to build. To initiate the prototyping, underlying technology needs to be understood in detail. Let us now discuss the elements involved in the prototyping technique. Determine the prototyping approach. It can be throwaway or evolutionary. Throwaway prototypes are discarded once the learning from the developed prototype is achieved. Evolutionary prototype is incrementally built to the final solution. Proof of concept, usability prototype, visual prototype, and functional prototype are various examples of prototyping. Storyboarding, paper prototyping, workflow modeling, and simulations are various prototyping methods. Interface analysis is used to identify the where, what, why, when, and how the information is exchanged between solution components or across solution boundaries. What is an interface? Interface is a connection between two components or solutions. Most solutions require one or more interfaces. What are different types of interfaces? The various interface types are user interface, external interface to the solution, business processes, data interface between systems, application programming interfaces, APIs, and hardware devices. Can you think of the different types of interfaces of an ATM machine, mobile phone, laptop, or login screen? You can be connected to different types of devices through your laptop or mobile using interfaces. You may log in to a website by providing the inputs through a virtual keyboard or a physical keyboard. You may develop integration solution by connecting multiple applications using the application programming interfaces, APIs. You may collect data through a variety of hardware devices. Business analyst needs to understand the interfaces used in existing business processes. An early identification of interfaces allows the business analyst to provide a context for eliciting more detailed stakeholder requirements and define functional requirements. The business analyst may use scope modeling, observation, and interviews to understand and elicit the detailed business information. A context diagram provides an interface of the solution with human actors, systems, hardware devices, and other solution components. The elements of interface analysis technique are: prepare for interface identifications, conduct interface identification, and define interfaces. You may include the name of the interface, the coverage, the exchange method, the message format, and the exchange frequency in interface definition. An interview is a systematic approach to elicit business analysis information by asking relevant questions and documenting the responses from a person or a group of people. One-on-one interviews are most common. Interviews can be synchronous, asynchronous, face-to-face, or through video conferencing. The two types of interviews are structured interviews and unstructured interviews. In a structured interview, the questions are predefined. In an unstructured interview, the questions may vary based on the interviewee response. Successful interviewing depends on the interviewer's domain knowledge, experience, and skills of documenting the discussion, the interviewee readiness, degree of clarity about the goal of the interview, the rapport of the interviewer with the interviewee. Significant time is required to plan and conduct interviews. The elements of interview technique are session planning, execution, and follow-up. Begin with defining the goals of the interview. Then, identify potential interviewees and communicate the goals. Design interview questions based on the interview goals. Design interview questions on 5 W's and 1 H. What, why, who, when, where, and how. To elicit data input, data output, business rules, and process. Consider open and closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions are used to elicit a brief answer, whereas closed-ended questions are used to get single response in yes or no, a specific number or range. Ensure that the required logistics for the interview has been arranged. Maintain the interview flow, opening, during, and closing. Organize and confirm results with the interviewees as soon as possible after the interview. Mind mapping is used to articulate and capture thoughts, ideas, and information. Mind mapping is a form of note-taking in a non-linear diagram. It uses image, words, color, and connected relationships to apply structure and logic to thoughts, ideas, and information. Taxonomy of a mind map may include a main topic, topics and subtopics, branches, keywords, color, and images. You can try to use the free online software mindmapfree.com to start building mind maps. The business analyst may involve the customer, the end user, the domain SMEs, the implementation SMEs, the sponsor, and any stakeholder in this task to understand and elicit business information. This topic will focus on purpose of the Confirm Elicitation Results task, the elements of the Confirm Elicitation Results task, the guidelines to be followed and the tools to be used, the list of available techniques, and lastly, the stakeholders. The purpose of the Confirm Elicitation Results task is to check if the information gathered during the elicitation session is accurate and consistent with other information. Input to this task is the unconfirmed elicitation results, and output is confirmed elicitation results. Elicitation results are confirmed by comparing elicitation results against source information or with other elicitation results. Let's assume that you have conducted brainstorming, interview or focus group session and elicited information from the stakeholders. This information may be confirmed with existing documents or with other elicitation results. You may compare the results with the results of document analysis or process analysis. In addition to the inputs discussed, elicitation activity plan and existing business analysis information may be used in this task as guidelines. 4 techniques, document analysis, interviews, reviews, and workshops can be used to confirm the elicitation results. Document analysis is used to confirm elicitation results with existing documents. Interviews and reviews are used to conduct reviews of elicitation results and solicit the feedback. Workshops are used to conduct reviews of elicitation results and solicit the feedback. The business analyst may involve a domain subject matter expert or any stakeholder who has the knowledge, experience, and expertise about the business analysis information being elicited, or about the change or solution to confirm that the elicitation results are correct. This topic will focus on purpose of the Communicate Business Analysis Information task, the elements of the task, the guidelines to be followed and the tools to be used, the list of available techniques, and lastly, the stakeholders. The purpose is to confirm elicitation results are analyzed, organized, modeled, and communicated to the stakeholder to ensure stakeholder have a shared understanding of business analysis information. Business analysis information and stakeholder engagement approach are used as an input to this task. Output of this task is communicated business analysis information. The business analyst needs to determine the objective and format of communication, forms of package to be used, and communicate business analysis package. Form of package also depends upon the business analysis approach, whether predictive or adaptive. Form of package may be formal documentation, informal documentation, or presentation. The business analyst communicates business information iteratively as and when the business analysis package is ready for communication. In addition to the inputs discussed, the business analysis approach and information management approach may be used in this task as a guideline. 3 business analysis techniques, namely interviews, reviews, and workshops, may be used to communicate the business analysis information. The interviews are used to communicate information to the stakeholder individually. The reviews are used to get business analysis information reviewed and seek feedback and approval. This can be used during individual or group collaboration. Workshops are also used to get business analysis information reviewed, build consensus, and seek feedback and approval. This can be used during group collaboration. The business analyst may involve all the stakeholders in this task in order to ensure all stakeholders have a common understanding. This topic will focus on purpose of the managed stakeholder collaboration task, the elements of this task, the guidelines to be followed, and the tools to be used, the list of available techniques, and lastly, the stakeholders. The purpose of managing stakeholder collaboration is to encourage stakeholders to work towards a common goal. Stakeholder engagement approach and business analysis performance assessment are used as an input, and stakeholder engagement is an output of this task. Stakeholder engagement approach describes the type of expected stakeholder engagement and how to manage the stakeholders. Business analysis performance assessment provides effectiveness of business analysis task focused on stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement is the willingness of stakeholders to engage in business analysis activities. The business analyst and the stakeholder agree upon time and resource commitments during an early phase of the initiative. The business analyst then monitors the participation and performance of the stakeholder to ensure that the right stakeholders are effectively engaged, the stakeholder attitudes and interest are supportive, the elicitation results are confirmed in a timely manner, and the commitments are maintained. The business analyst also needs to monitor the risks related with stakeholder engagements, such as delayed approval, not producing quality business analysis information, and stakeholders diverted to other work. Maintaining stakeholder engagement requires that their contributions are recognized, their opinions are valued. A collaborative relationship helps maintain the free flow of information and promotes shared effort to resolve problems and achieve the desired results. In addition to the inputs discussed, the business analysis approach, the business objectives, the future state description, the recommended actions, and the risk analysis results may be used in this task as guidelines. The business analysis approach describes the level of engagement required from each stakeholder. The business objectives provide the direction to achieve the future state. The future state description defines the desired future state and expected value. The recommended action provides action to be taken in order to earn support and focus of the stakeholder. The risk analysis results provides action to be taken in order to ensure the stakeholder collaboration during business analysis work. 4 techniques may be used to manage the stakeholder collaboration. The collaborative games stimulate teamwork and collaboration. The lesson learned is used to understand the stakeholder satisfaction or dissatisfaction. Risk analysis and management is used to identify and manage risk related to stakeholder participation and engagement. The stakeholder list, map, or personas is used to determine who needs to be involved in the business analysis work. The business analyst may involve all the stakeholders who might be involved during change. Business analyst elicits information and translates it into requirements for the projects. This is done using tasks described in the elicitation and collaboration knowledge area. We have discussed the elicitation and collaboration task in the previous lesson. At the beginning, the status of elicitation results is unconfirmed. The results are confirmed once you have performed the confirm elicitation results task. The status of elicitation results, that is, requirements or designs, are updated as you perform different business analysis tasks in all other knowledge areas. To update the status of requirements and design, you should know the origin of the requirement or design. You should know whether one requirement is related to or dependent on other requirements. You should know which solution components fulfill the requirements. You should also know which test cases will verify the functionality of the solution. And lastly, know what will help you in assessing changes to the requirements. A business analyst defines the high-level business requirements and the low-level solution requirements. Further,